If you own any of these Casios, you already know something feels off. If you are about to buy one, this video just saved you from a mistake disguised as a bargain. These are the 8 Casio watches that survive on nostalgia, misleading specs, and the assumption that you will never look too closely. Each one is counting on you to mistake cheap engineering for iconic design. Let's kick off the countdown with number 8. Number 8, the Casio W96H, the downgrade disguised as a deal. On paper, the W96H looks like a logical entry into Casio's budget lineup. Compact, lightweight, and priced under $20. But the moment you put it next to almost anything else Casio makes, the cuts become impossible to ignore. Water resistance drops to just 50 meters, half of what Casio offers on comparable models at the same price point. There is no auto illumination, no dual time. The feature set is stripped to the bone, not because simplicity was the goal, but because corners were cut. What you are left with is a watch that trades on the Casio name while delivering less than Casio's own lineup justifies. The W96H does not compete with third-party brands. It struggles to compete with its own siblings on the same shelf. This is not minimalism. It is subtraction dressed up as value. Number 7, the Casio Forester, the outdoorsman that stays indoors. The Forester is built around a promise: rugged, reliable, ready for anything. The marketing implies trail-tested resilience. The reality is a watch that owners consistently report failing on the basics, including readability in direct sunlight, button reliability after moderate use, and a display that washes out in precisely the conditions an outdoor watch should thrive in. User reports across watch forums document recurring complaints about legibility and long-term reliability, problems that should not exist in a tool watch at any price. When the core function of an instrument watch, to tell the time clearly and to hold up under use, becomes the subject of repeated owner complaints, the positioning collapses entirely. The Forester looks the part. It does not play it. You are paying for the aesthetic of durability, not the substance of it. The all-black stealth Casio and the wider family of negative display G-Shocks have built a devoted following on the back of one thing. They look aggressive. Matte black case, inverted screen, the kind of aesthetic that photographs well and turns heads at a desk. But here is what the aesthetic conceals. Negative display liquid crystal displays, with light characters on a dark background, cut legibility in anything less than ideal lighting conditions. Indoors, under artificial light, at an angle, in a car, these are the exact scenarios where the display becomes a squinting exercise. The irony is complete. G-Shock's entire identity is built on being a tool you can trust under pressure. The stealth lineup sacrifices the tool for the look. You are not buying a G-Shock, you are buying a G-Shock costume. Number 5. The Casio AE500WH, the feature list that fights you. The AE500WH arrives with credentials: world time across 39 time zones, 5 daily alarms, a countdown timer, and a 10-year battery. On spec sheets and YouTube thumbnails, it looks like the ultimate budget utility watch. Then you try to read it indoors. The display, a positive LCD on a gray background, loses contrast in anything short of direct light. Owners consistently flag this as the watch's defining flaw, and it is not a minor inconvenience. When a watch built for function fails at its most fundamental task, no feature list saves it. Casio's own AE1200 addresses the readability problem directly, offers comparable features, and costs a similar amount. The AE1500WH lives in its shadow, a watch that promises more and delivers a worse experience. You are paying for a spec list, not a functional tool. The GA800 is positioned as a mid-tier G-Shock, with a big presence and an analog digital display. It is the kind of watch that signals you know the lineup. But the secondary market and owner forums tell a story Casio's product pages do not. Hands falling off. Not metaphorically, physically. The analog hands on the GA800 have generated enough documented complaints across watch communities that the pattern is impossible to dismiss as isolated incidents. This is a watch in the $100 to $130 range, carrying G-Shock's reputation for indestructibility, yet suffering a mechanical failure that is both visible and humiliating. G-Shock's promise is that the watch takes the punishment so you do not have to. The GA800 inverts that promise. The punishment finds the watch anyway, and it shows on the dial. At this price, the GW5610 makes the GA800 look like a cautionary tale in the same display case. Number 3. The Casio GW5610 G-Shock, the watch that tries too hard. Casio's experimental design language has produced some of the most iconic watch silhouettes in history. The GW5610 is not one of them. This is a case study in what happens when the design brief prioritizes disruption over wearability. The case architecture is overdone, layered, angular, and busy in a way that does not translate to the wrist. Reviewers and collectors who have lived with Casio's design evolution for decades are consistent in their verdict. This is not bold, it is cluttered. There is no movement innovation here, no technical leap, nothing under the hood that earns the visual noise on the outside. The GW5610 is aesthetic excess without a foundation. It is a watch designed to be photographed, not worn. In a lineup filled with genuine icons, it is the one you will be explaining away in 3 years. Number 2. The Casio AE500WH's closest rival in failure is negative display models across the lineup. Casio has leaned into the negative display trend across multiple lines, not just the G-Shock Stealth variants. This includes budget digitals, mid-tier sport models, and limited colorways. The inverted screen has spread through the catalog on the strength of its visual appeal alone. The problem scales. Every negative display model inherits the same core compromise. Low light legibility is punished. The very environments where a tool watch earns its keep, dim rooms, car interiors, and early mornings, become the watch's weakest moments. And the market has noticed. Secondary listings for negative display Casio models trend lower than their positive display equivalents across the same reference lines. What looks like a premium aesthetic choice is quietly becoming a resale penalty. You are not buying a better watch. You are buying a harder-to-read one with a markup for the moody aesthetic. Number 1. The Casio GA series Trying Too Hard Originals, the Hype Editions. These are the watches Casio releases when the design team mistakes complexity for credibility. Chunky multi-layer cases, experimental colorways, collaboration drops built around cultural moments rather than horological substance, the kind of watch that generates pre-release buzz and then quietly disappears from wrists within 18 months. The pattern is consistent. Hype edition drops. Secondary market briefly spikes. The cultural moment fades. Listings flood back in at 30 to 50% below the inflated gray market peak, often trading near or below retail. The buyers who chased the buzz absorb the loss. The collectors who waited pay the rational price. Casio's core identity is not exclusivity. It is democratic utility. When the brand reaches for manufactured scarcity and cultural cash, it is playing a game it was never built to win. These watches are not investments. They are depreciating souvenirs from a hype cycle that moved on without them. Now let's talk about what actually deserves to be on your wrist. Number 4. The Casio F91W, the honest watch. Everything the bad list tried to be, the F91W already is. At under $15, this is not a compromise. It is a masterclass in doing exactly one thing without apology. Lightweight resin case, positive LCD display that reads cleanly in virtually any light, a 7-year battery, and a design so resolved it has not needed updating since 1989. The F91W holds its secondary market value with quiet consistency, a remarkable fact for a watch that costs less than a lunch. There is no feature bloat here, no overcrowded display, no design language chasing a trend. It is the purest expression of what Casio built its reputation on, and it remains, by every functional measure, one of the best watches ever made for the money. Number 3. The Casio AE1200, the utility standard. Where the AE1500WH stumbles on readability, the AE1200 delivers. World time, countdown timer, 5 alarms, a display that reads cleanly across lighting conditions, and all of it in a retro aviation aesthetic that has made it one of the most recommended budget watches on the market for over a decade. Watch communities from Reddit to dedicated collector forums cite the AE1200 as the benchmark for what a feature-loaded digital should be. The secondary market reflects it. Demand is stable, pricing holds, and turnover is fast. These are signs of a watch people actually want, not one they regret. At around $35, the AE1200 is not a consolation prize. It is the correct answer. Number 2. The Casio G-Shock GW5610, the tool watch that means it. This is the G-Shock that earns the name. Tough solar charging eliminates the battery swap entirely. The watch runs on ambient light, holds a 6-month reserve in total darkness, and has never needed a service appointment to handle basic timekeeping. Atomic synchronization via radio signal keeps accuracy to the second across supported regions, a function that makes manual time setting feel archaic. The case is compact for a G-Shock, 46.7 millimeters, but slim and wrist-friendly. And the display reads with the clarity you expect from a positive LCD. No analog hands to fall off. No negative display to fight in dim light. Just a watch that performs every function it promises, every time, without drama. Resale holds firm across the GW5610 lineup. Demand is consistent, supply is steady, and nobody who owns one is in a hurry to sell. That is the metric that matters. Number 1. The Casio Oceanus OCWS100. The best Casio nobody talks about. While the G-Shock gets the headlines, the Oceanus quietly represents the ceiling of what Casio is capable of. The OCWS100 is where solar charging, atomic synchronization, and genuine finishing ambition converge in a case that does not look like a tool watch. It looks like a considered piece of design. The bracelet integration is clean. The dial has depth.